Did you go through a period of time where you were questioning why it happened? Like, why me, Lord? Why did this have to happen to me?
Again, not so, I didn't really take the time to look at it that way. I sort of feel like, these things happen pretty frequently, throughout time. Um, there was really nothing that I did to put me in this position. Um, so I just sort of figured like, okay, well this happened, and um, again, like sort of now what? Now what do I how do I make the best of this situation? I started to think of it sort of like I was playing poker. I was dealt certain cards that I had nothing to do with, and I have cards in the middle of the table that we can all use to try and make the best hand. So how am I going to make the best hand? And that's where I focused most of my energies instead of reflecting on what had happened.
Gotcha. Well, and I think was advantageous to you as well if you didn't have to wade through. I think some people get angry. A lot of people uh, get angry about the hands that they're dealt in life, right? And
Yeah,
I think sometimes I like to tell people that one of my attitudes towards life is I want to do the best I can today with what I have, right? I have I have what's going on inside my head, my heart, in those external circumstances outside of me that I have no control over, right? So I'll just try to do the best I can with what I have. And I think sometimes there's a conflict there. I think there's a conflict with, well, these external things are happening to me. I have no control over them. So where do I go from here? Right. And I think that's where resilience comes in, and I think that's where some people struggle because they don't have that resilience and they don't know how to overcome those external forces that are affecting their lives, right? Or having an aneurysm or a heart attack or some, you know, physical, issue or problem or ailment that happens just out of the blue, right? And you're like, "Oh, great, now what?"
there's a movie that I like called The Edge with Anthony Hopkins,
Yeah.
and there's a scene where he and Alec Baldwin and Harold Perrineau are lost in the Pacific Northwest,
Okay.
and um, Anthony Hopkins says most people in the woods, lost in the woods, die of shame. And then when they ask him what he means by that, he says, they spend all their time thinking, what could I have done differently? How did I get into this position? Instead of spending time doing the one thing that would help them get out of there, which is sort of thinking, okay, well, what do I do next? So I adopted that approach rather than, I would give myself time certainly to question what happened. I think it was important to put into context the fact that had anything been different, it would have been a really horrible situation for me. Um, but things ended up working out the way that they did. So I made sure not to spend too much time thinking about that, but I gave myself a sort of requisite amount of time to think about, okay, what happened? How did this happen? Why did this happen? Um, but mostly it was just, okay, this happened. How do I address this in a healthy way moving forward?